Why, hello. I just got to the gym. Let me take my rings off because that sound might be very annoying. Okay, rings are off. And they're going over there. Tappy, 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 tappy. I'm tapping above your head. I'm tapping around your head. How are you? How are you? This is a different POV from my regular car ASMR, right? Car ASMR. It is leg day, so I am mentally preparing right now. I have my barbell pad. If you know, you know. I really love this chocolate color. Another late night, another gym sesh. You know how I do. I was actually really hot just now because I had the heat on my way here and the seat warmer because it's cold outside. But I've been waiting for this time of the year for a long time. It's my favorite time. If you're familiar with winter arc, if you're in like the fitness community or you're in like wellness or the gym community, you know about the winter arc. I feel like the winter arc, it kind of starts like in the burr months. I call them the burr months, like September, October, November, December, right? And I feel like the winter arc starts there. If you don't know what the winter arc is, you definitely have to look it up. But I am definitely heavy in my winter arc area right now. And I'm like really locked in. I call this month, one of my friends on the socials said it, they called it Locktober instead of October because they're just like really focused, tuned in, tunnel vision. So this is Locktober for me. So I'm actually like really committed. I don't usually track, right? And I started tracking my macros because I'm trying to really be focused and fuel my body in accordance with my goals and with like my performance. And I am a foodie, but at the same time, I undereat and I underfuel. It's actually really frustrating because when I went to go track my macros, because I want to do things the right way during my winter arc, I want to lose fat, but I don't want to lose my muscle. I'm a runner, so my muscles are very important to me. especially in my lower body. I'm actually working on getting a strong upper body now because I really want to be able to do push-ups, pull-ups, but also push-ups. But I really want to be able to do pull-ups, like no assisted, just straight pull-ups, which obviously takes a lot of body, it obviously takes a lot of upper body strength, right? Because you are literally using your upper body strength to pull your entire body weight, right? So, so I noticed that I've been under fueling because my problem is, let's say I get up at like 7 a.m. I don't love breakfast. I don't love breakfast foods. I'm one of those people who can like wake up and eat a lunch or a dinner meal instead of breakfast, where it's like I have some family members who have to have breakfast first no matter what time of day it is, like breakfast foods, right? So if they like slept in and it might be like 1 or 2 o'clock, like they still have to have like a cereal or an oatmeal, pancakes, something like that, where I can eat fried rice at 9 o'clock in the morning if that's something I wanted, or some chicken breast and broccoli if that's what I wanted. Like my stomach doesn't know the time. So if I'm someone that wakes up at 7 a.m., I won't eat until like noon. And that's really bad if you have, a high caloric intake, or you need to be taking in a lot of calories, a lot of protein, because you're giving yourself essentially just like a small window or a smaller window to get in your calories and to get in your protein and your proper carbs and your fats, because you just have less time in the day if you're getting started eating later. So that's been a struggle for me because I find myself having to force meals, which is not fun. So my main goal is to at least get my protein in, even if I don't reach my caloric intake for the day, because the protein is the most important. It's what's going to keep you feeling satiated. It is what is going to help you keep your muscle mass as much as possible. So that's been really important for me. So I'm just working on fueling properly. Yeah. So. I have so many goals. In and out of the gym. It's good to have goals because for me, if I am doing the same thing day in and day out, it starts to feel a little bit mundane. It starts to feel like Groundhog Day. And then I get a little scared. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm living up to my full potential. Am I wasting my life? Life is so short. So I really like to have goals, even if there's something small, And goals, aspirations, dreams. Right now I'm being super random, being parked up in the gym parking lot, and if somebody sees me doing ASMR, that is so cringe. So cringe. Right now I happen to be in a season of becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. Sounds crazy, and it is crazy. but I'm trying for it to not be crazy. So I realized that I've outgrown a lot of my friendships, and just because you spent a long time building something doesn't mean that you have to hold on to it. Sort of like if you get on a train and you've been on it for an hour and you realize you're going in the wrong direction, you're not going to stay on it just because you've been on there a long time. And I've just been learning that, it really is okay to let go, let go, let go, let go. And it's not anything negative either, Like, I still love everyone who I've ever been involved in because those relationships and bonds were really important to me at that time and were pivotal in me becoming who I am today. So it's definitely like never anything negative or that I don't like these people. It's just I'm really big on like reciprocal relationships right now, and I really need to get the energy that I'm putting out right back. Not right back, sometimes everything is at 50-50, like, and when I say relationships, I'm speaking generally, platonic, romantic, and everything is at 50-50. Sometimes you have to give 70 and the other person is giving 30. Sometimes you have to give 95 and the other person's giving 5, because that's just life and we all go through things and we're not perfect. But the effort is what counts, right? Knowing that that person is showing up for you when they can and putting in that effort. You can't give 95 after 95 after 95 after 95 after 95 while only receiving 5 and 5 back and 5 back. There has to be a give and take. And I'm really big on just the reciprocation and receiving the energy that I feel like I deserve and that I know I can give. So I know I'm deserving to have that energy be matched. And it's okay to walk away from those bonds where I say, like, this isn't serving me anymore. This isn't serving me anymore. We had this beautiful garden, and we both used to water it. And it grew into a bigger garden, and it just became so beautiful, and I love the garden. And then one day, life happened and the other person decided to stop watering the garden. They might check on the garden every now and then, but it doesn't really feel like they care much about the garden. They're kind of just like checking off a box. But it's me who's getting on my knees and pulling the weeds and watering the garden and buying the food for the soil, sending pictures and updates of the garden. And that person can kind of just care less, Over time, a consistent lack of effort, not just they were in a bad season or they had some other things going on, a consistent neglect of the garden. So, in those cases, you don't have to keep watering that garden anymore. Speaking to myself. So I realized I need to stop watering gardens when it's a solo project. So I've been becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable, because a lot of times I might want to do something and the people who I want to do things with might not be available, because I have people to go and do things with. But sometimes I might be going to do something or I might want to do something and I don't necessarily have someone to do it with. And I might miss out on that experience just because I don't have somebody with me. And I'm now just learning how to get out of that because life is so short and I'm really big on experiences. And I just don't want to miss out on anything because, I want to just be able to do it with someone. And I had to ask myself too, like, do you actually want to experience this with them? Or do you just want a warm body? Are you just looking for comfort in having someone there? Or is it that you want this experience with that person? And what I found was that it was just me wanting a warm body. I was just not wanting to do it by myself. Like, for example, I am getting into skiing and I don't want to learn how to ski by myself, outside of like having an instructor. So I want someone to fail with. I want someone who's also new and is gonna fail and fall and learn. I want that experience to not be a solo experience, because it's kind of nerve-wracking learning. It's very nerve-wracking learning something new. And to do that alone is something that I've never been like good at. I don't mind doing solo activities if it's something like where I'm not seen, like where people aren't really looking. I can go running by myself. I can even go to the movies by myself. It's dark in there. I've even worked my way up to going to restaurants by myself, but I will say I'm not at the point yet where I can get like a table. I have to still sit at the bar, which is fine because I still came a long way. Before, I would not even go to a restaurant by myself. So I can do things by myself. When it comes to new experiences for me, I would like to have someone there. So I'm now just getting out of that because not everyone is always going to want to do something with me. They might not be available. Yeah, maybe they want to, but they're not available. Or maybe there's just someone who does not share that same interest. So for me, it's either give up on wanting that experience for myself or just learn how to face those uncomfortable feelings of being alone and doing something new. So that has been what I've been doing all year. It's not fun to be uncomfortable. It's not, no one wants to be uncomfortable. But as we all know, growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. And I do want to grow. I do want to evolve. I do want to be better. I do want to have different experiences that maybe I don't end up liking, but at least I tried it and I could say like, when I get much older, like, oh yeah, I did give that a try and it wasn't for me. So that's really important for me, to have friendships that align with me and to be intentional about the friendships that I have and not just hold on to dead weight just because I've been carrying it for a while and it feels more comfortable to just keep that baggage with me like a security blanket. That's not good. So I'm still working on my skiing experience. It really is hard for me. It really is hard for me to go and do it alone, but I am going to have to because it is not an experience that I want to miss. I would deeply regret not going to do it and going to learn it. It's something that I want to learn. It's something that I want to master if I do like the experience, right? Like, I might get out there and absolutely hate it, but it is something that I really want to give a good try and a good effort because I'm just really interested in it. I have a lot of hobbies. And I have a lot of interest. I'm one of those people that I can be easily influenced. I think that life has so much to offer. There's cooking, there's skiing, there's dirt biking, there's hiking. There's so much to do and so much to see. And I just don't want to fall into the trap of just going through the motions of life. Me, personally, that's what's important to me. It doesn't have to be important to everyone else. So, my goal is to just align myself with the people who think like me and, just want to live life like me. And I am so happy for those connections that I do have because I do have a few connections where we align in that way. And I really do cherish and pour into those relationships quite a lot because they are important to me and they're very rare. So I am just trying to build my confidence with, just going out and doing things by myself because I really do love myself. I like myself. I don't just love myself, I also like myself, right? And I enjoy hanging by myself. It's just the anxiety of not immediately being good at something and other people being a witness to that. That's very scary because things that I'm good at, I will go and do. And, it doesn't really matter who's watching because I'm confident, right? I'm like, I know what I'm doing. No one can laugh or point or, whatever the case is, whatever my brain is thinking when I'm having these social anxiety moments. I love going to run outside, but I could imagine someone who's fresh off the couch, who never ran before, or isn't used to running very often. They might feel a little weird running out in public when it's crowded or in the daytime. So it definitely makes sense. But I want to grow out of that because we only have one life and we just can't be so worried about what other people are thinking. And we only have one life to live, so we can't wait for other people. So we have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. We really have to work on that. And that's where the mental strength comes in, the mental fortitude, right? Because it's really just challenging the way you think. It's challenging what you believe. And I'm all for that. Give me more physical strength. Give me more mental strength. If you get comfortable at being uncomfortable, if you get comfortable at doing things alone, that means you are really liking yourself to your, at your core. Like you are fully loving and liking yourself at your core. And there's literally nothing stopping you. You're comfortable being alone. You're sitting with your true self. That's my goal. I'm like, when I'm scared to do things alone and when I choose not to participate in something because I'm scared of being judged, I'm hiding from myself. I'm running from myself. I'm not really sitting with my true self, that makes sense. I found myself just wanting to do all of the experiences. Sometimes I wonder, I'm like, am I having a midlife crisis? Why do I want to do everything? One of the biggest things for me is being out in nature and seeing things. I'm really big on scenic views and adventure of all kinds. And it doesn't even need to be anything grandiose. I literally just love going to the park. I love going to see something pretty. I like if I was to go see some mountains, a pretty sunset, a pretty sunrise. All of those things are like really important to me. The world is just so beautiful, and I just don't want to miss out. Scrolling on my phone or just binge watching TV, binge watching movies. Not that that doesn't have its place in society. Totally not judging. Because these are just, again, my interests. Not everybody, wants to see nature and things like that. Or maybe they balance that between their binge watching and things like that. This is a no judgment zone. So because I have a lot of time to scroll on my phone during the day, I work from home, and at the type of job that I have, I can be on my phone scrolling a lot. And to combat that, I went and I got a coloring book and some coloring pencils. I think I have it. Oh my God, I have it. Cottagecore. So while working, I'm just kidding. To whom it may concern, I fully focus on my work and I don't scroll and I don't doodle in this coloring book. That's on the record. So, this cottagecore, I got this coloring book. And my friend, who is so wonderfully aligned with me and my adventurous style, and it's such an amazing reciprocal friendship. She is an art student, and literally the other day, we took our coloring books and she bought some watercolor to the mall, and we ate at the Cheesecake Factory. I love this betta fish. Look how pretty that is. And we bought these things to the Cheesecake Factory. There's some pencil shavings in there, and they're gonna be all over my car. Yay! So we bought our things to the restaurant, and we were sitting there coloring, painting, and we ordered things off of the Skinnylicious menu. Cheesecake Factory has a Skinnylicious menu because if you know anything about the Cheesecake Factory, their menu items are so calorie dense to the point where I wonder, like, where are these calories coming from? They'll have like a grilled salmon, mashed potatoes, and vegetables, and it'll be like 1,200 calories. And you're like, and the portions are not. I'm sorry. Cheesecake Factory can have large portions, but I just still don't understand how, like, yeah, the calories, the math just doesn't math to me. The math is not mathing, but anyway, we ordered things off of the Skinnylicious menu, which is their menu. It has things that are like under 600 calories. It even has like alcoholic beverages on there, and appetizers, salads, burgers, different specialty items. So we ordered things off of the Skinnylicious menu because we're both in our winter arc and just trying to be better to ourselves and our body. And it was such a great time. Sometimes going out with the people you love can feel so healing. It can feel so healing. It can feel so healing. And Those are just, and that's just one of the friendships where, I mean, it's just reciprocal and it just feels good. It feels right. And it feels like you value this as much as I do. And that's really important to me. Okay, that is my cue. So they just killed the lights in the parking lot. So that is definitely a sign for me to get my rump in the gym.